This video will be discussing the helmet crest find from Nijmegen, or Noviomagus, in the Netherlands. Found in the province of Gelderland, in the River Vaal, this is a well-preserved example of the typical fish-fin crest we see on some instances of the intercissor type. The images of the finds are courtesy of Dr. Christian Mix. Unlike the example moulded into the ridge of the intercissor 4, as shown here, the ridge of the Nijmegen example features slotted mounts for the fin-shaped crest to attach to. The crest is locked in by riveting a series of tabs over corresponding rectangular metal washers. We can see an example of the appropriate recesses here. As we can see from the side view, the crest swells towards the front section, and may have included a key-row monogrammed plate as seen on other helmets of a similar type, as suggested by two small rivet holes towards the tip of the crest itself, as highlighted here. The crest itself also displays signs of gilding. It's poorly preserved on the right side due to corroded river sand, grey traces of which can be seen in the images. As is to be expected from a late Roman period helmet, we can safely assume the gilding also covered the surface of the helmet bowl as well. Whilst this may not necessarily be the case, it is unlikely the bowl beneath would not have received the same treatment. As to why we believe this belongs to an intercissor helmet, to put it simply, we only have finds and tangible artwork of such crests attached to the intercissor type. Whilst it is not impossible such a crest was designed to fit with a Berkosovo type, it seems unlikely. As with the gilding, this is not a concrete answer, but it certainly fits the pattern we have seen so far both in finds and the artistic representation. The overall look of the helmet will therefore have likely been similar to this image of a reconstructed intercissor type, courtesy of the Pustelak Brothers art workshop and owned by the Vicus Ultimus reenactment group. The decorative gilding on all other examples, those with enough material surviving to appropriately judge them, suggests that all gilded helmets had some degree of decorative repousse work at least around the edges of the bowl and cheek plates. The gilding was likely held on with precious silver rivets. Is this a guarantee? Again, sadly not. Simply the most likely outcome based on the available evidence and the corroboration of other finds and artworks. The purpose of these crests is also something we will, perhaps eternally, be debating, and is an issue we will cover in more detail in a later feature. For now, there is an issue with crests in general in the late Roman period. Lack of clarity in artwork and the relative paucity of finds make it unclear as to the exact use of crests. Were they to mark out officers, or perhaps soldiers of particular regiments? We cannot be sure. Debate continues to reign over this topic, with some citing the almost identical form of all the metal fish fin crests compared to the possibilities available with horsehair and feathers to suggest these fin crests actually bore no particular significance, although the latter are most frequently depicted in scarlet red rather than a variety of colours in relevant artwork, thus perhaps suggesting neither type bore the connotations we would perhaps expect. What we can discern is that the Nijmegen example indicates firstly that crests of the metal fin nature may have been quite common, based not only on their relatively frequent appearance in artwork, but also on the ratio of helmet finds with this type of crest, or the slots to insert such a crest on the helmet, as well as a rather impressive number of key-row plates found that are seemingly designed to fit them. It also shows us these crests were designed to be, at least in some cases, detachable and reattachable. At the end of the day, we find ourselves with yet another rather speculative piece, which goes some way to helping further our understanding of how late Roman helmets were both constructed and to a certain extent issued, and could hopefully inspire more crested ridge helmet impressions in the Noviomagus area in the future.